here at PCHS. Welcome to the PCHS GSA Club flag raising ceremony for the International Day against Homophobia, Transphobia and Biophobia. We're very happy to be raising a flag which will remain outside our building for the next month, raising the awareness of our GSA students and staff members within our community. I'd like to thank our GSA Club, our members and staff members, for offering a safe and inclusive space for our students. I'd like to thank our Assistant Director, Mr. Tom Rhymes, for joining us, and Mr. David Hawkins from the Centre for LGBTQ2+ in the West Island, for joining us and speaking with us this morning. We're helping our students to create a safe, diverse and respectful school environment. As a society, we have a lot of work to do to eliminate discrimination. Hopefully, with the support of our students and our school community, we continue to take strides forward into making this a reality. It is my pleasure to introduce our Assistant Director General, Mr. Tom Rhymes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hayter. My name is Tom Rhymes. I'm the Assistant Director General of the Lester B. Pearson School Board. That's okay. And on behalf of Dr. Cindy Finn, our Director General, and Ms. Judy Kelly, our Council Chair, I want to extend greetings on behalf of the school board. I want to tip my hat to you, Mr. Hayter, Ms. Mitchell, to the staff of PCHS, but more importantly to the students of PCHS for taking this step, for hosting this ceremony, and making, I think, a bold statement for inclusion. We live in difficult times. We know we live in difficult times, but we know we have to do three things. We have to fight hate with love. We have to fight exclusion with inclusion, and we have to fight ignorance with education. And what you're doing here today and what you're doing here each and every day is each of those three things. So I commend you on it. I wish you nothing but the best for today and moving forward. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rhymes. So it's now my pleasure to introduce one of our GSA students, Tyler. I welcome you forward, Tyler.
Thank you, Mr. Hayter. Good morning, everyone. I'm Tyler Regner-Joseph, and I'm a member of the Genders and Sexualities Alliance Committee, formerly known as the GSA, here at PC. I would like to start off by saying that I'm very grateful to be in this club because it is one that I feel every school should have. It allows students to discover their true selves and discover their identities in the process. It's important to hear about our history and the experiences that members of the community face, and whether you're a part of the community or just an ally. The guest speakers really helped me realize how good I have it at home, which is something I'm grateful for because unlike many people my age, I'm blessed with the privilege of having friends and family who are very supportive. The attitude towards queer people is just wrong because we're just as human as everyone else, and we're entitled to the same rights and freedoms. Why do our genders and sexualities have to change that? Why are we perceived differently because we don't meet the heteronormative standards our society has forced upon us? I'm honored to celebrate the International Day against Transphobia, Homophobia, and Biophobia here at PCHS, since this is still a problem in our society that we have yet to overcome. There's nothing more upsetting to me than people who have worked so hard for so long to be accepted and loved by their friends and family, only to be shunned by others for being their true selves. It's unfortunate that in 2022 there is still prejudice and hate against members of the community. This is why, as a school, we are committed to doing the work necessary to uphold the human rights of all students, whether that be respecting pronouns and educating homophobic behaviors, but no matter how many posters we put up in the school, it is up to you as an individual to listen, educate yourself, and learn from your classmates or students on how to be a good ally. That's all we ask. Thank you, Ms. Amar and Ms. Canva, for making this happen, along with the GSA members who showed up to lots of meetings and put efforts into all the activities and events that made this possible. Have a great day.
Thank you, Tyler. I would now like to invite our special guest from the LGBT2+ West Island Centre, the Executive Director, Mr. David Hawkins.
So thank you everyone for having me today. I feel greatly appreciated for being here, and I feel very privileged to be able to be part of something so special. So for those of you who may know of me or of the organization, the West Island LGBTQ2+ Center really is the only source of LGBTQ2+ specific resources in and around the West Island region of Montreal and Vaudreuil-Soulanges as well. Yesterday, we were very grateful to be able to have our grand opening of our Vaudreuil-Soulanges Center. So there is now another resource located within the region west of Montreal. So I think it's also important to recognize on today of all days why we choose to celebrate May 17th as the day against homophobia, transphobia, and biophobia. And it's important to recognize that on this day in 1990, it was today that the World Health Organization chose to declassify homosexuality as a mental illness. So, while many countries have legalized or decriminalized or instituted protections for LGBTQ2+ people around the world, there still remains a lot of work left to do. There are still a lot of countries where we are still discriminated against, still hated, we are still put in prison, we are killed for being part of the LGBTQ2+ community, for being different. And so today of all days is a day to also remember still how much work we as a society have left to do. There are a lot of things I want to say on a day like today, but I think from a personal perspective, I think the thing that is most important to say is that it's really amazing just how far we've come in the past 10, in the past 15, in the past 20 years. I'm surprisingly maybe not that much older than people who are graduating this year from high school. And that being said, I had a very different high school experience. I came from a school where in my graduating year there were 250 students in the graduating class, and the year above us there were another 250, and the year above that another 250. And between all three of those years, at the time of graduation, there was never one openly LGBTQ2+ person in those graduating years. Now, to look at a school turn out in such numbers to celebrate an event like this, to celebrate a day like this, that tells me that something is changing. And I know I've seen it, even just in the past 1 or 2 years, in the past 6 months, I have seen a change. I remember the first booth I had tabled, and even up until more recently, people would see the booth for the West Island LGBTQ2+ Center and like point at their friends and be like, "What, you're gonna go check them out, you gay?" And it's like, cool, that's not great. And I realized recently, in the past week or two, that it's been several years since I've heard those kind of jokes. Now when people see us at an event, they're actually interested to see us there. They want to know more, they want to take part, they want the pronoun pins. And that marks such a radical change from where we've come. From even my high school experience, it's different. And so, is today a day to remember the historical injustices that have existed? Yes, it is. But is today also an opportunity to recognize all the work we still have yet left to do? Yes, it is. And for today, it is also important to recognize just how far we have come. We have come a very long way in the past 10, 20 years. We as an organization, we provide a space where people can be themselves, where they can love themselves, where they can one love another and be loved for who they are. And 10, 20 years ago, that was something that was unthinkable. And so here we are today, excited to celebrate a day like today, and I'm so grateful for all of you for coming out. So thank you very much.
Thank you, David. We appreciate you joining us this morning. So we are now going to, in a moment, we'll move outside for the flag raising, and then we'll come back inside for a few closing remarks from Sabina. So if you'd like to make your way outside.
those of you just tuning in, we are here at PCHS and we are doing the flag raising ceremony in celebration of the LGBTQ raising of the flag at PCHS. It's windy, guys, but here we are.
Want to go head back inside for closing remarks?